Hello everyone and welcome to the Africam show. I'm very excited to be here with you and I'm so excited to start off with Aldonio. Oh yes, so lovely, fun favorite, and it's me, Trishana, to help you along for the next half an hour. Well, if this is your first time joining us for the Africam show, welcome on board. It's an opportunity for us to go through the different cams and for you to ask whatever questions you like. Remember, you can do that because we are live and interactive, and already I've got some hellos coming through. Adijan2, you say good afternoon with coffee. Of course, you have your coffee. Kauru, you say hi Trishala. Rolling Trouble, you say hi Trish from Washington. Coffee and water here. Dear NC, you say good morning from Seattle. You're ready with your coffee too. Well, let me tell you, I think I could do with some coffee. This afternoon, it's been a long day, and I always find that I think I enjoy the shows most after a long day. Now, for me, it's about 4 p.m. in South Africa, and so, the majority of work is done for the day. And when I get to the opportunity to spend time with all of you and also in the bush virtually, I think that's a great way to end off the day, at least the working portion of the day. I've been looking forward to watching the Aldonio cam the whole day. In fact, I had a peek earlier, just in my own time as well, and it has been busy. I find the giraffes in this area to be less skittish than giraffes in other areas, and I think it might be because the waterhole here is so busy. There's always animals around, and usually giraffes will react to animals and sort of wait for them to go before they come in and have a drink. But here at Aldonio, they've just got to push their way through. So it's really nice to see that these three can be pretty relaxed and don't have to squeeze themselves in between other animals to have a drink. They're still very cautious though, still surveying the area. And rightly so. I feel like, the majority of animals are at a certain height. Or, there's a certain range, and giraffes just so far exceed that range. And I suppose, like Spider-Man was once told, with great power comes great responsibility. And with all this extra height, and so that also would mean a whole lot of more landscape that they can assess, I think that may add to their anxiety a little bit. There's so much more that they could potentially see, and so much more area to check. So maybe that adds to their cautiousness. Either way, I'm very happy to see some giraffe. I've been watching cams for the better part of the day. And I haven't seen some giraffe, so I'm pretty happy that we get to see some giraffe. Andy, you say, good morning, everyone. Drive carefully and watch out for potholes in the road. That is applicable wherever you go, including South Africa. Zygote, you say, hi, Trishala. Hi, Zygote. Timber Grace, you say, good morning from an unusually warm Minnesota. You still have your coffee and you're excited for the show. I wonder, is it iced coffee? Since it's unusually warm? I hope so. Here we have an East African oryx, or a bisa, a fringe-eared oryx. Now the fringe-eared oryx and the bisa are basically subspecies of East African oryx. And there's still a lot of research going into, are they actually subspecies? Are they distinct species? And I love when we see all of these new studies come out. It always helps us to get to know the animals in our environment a little bit better. Oh, down you go. love it. I love watching them. Of course, we have those yellow baboons in the background as well. If any of you were unable to join us for the Always Wild show last Friday, we gave an update about the baboons here, in fact, and we said that it was confirmed that the olive baboons in this area don't really come close to this to the camp and to this waterhole. So if you see baboons here, it's 99% of the time going to be yellow baboons. But if you didn't hear it then you heard it now, and that will help you with IDs. Bob from Kalamazoo, you say happy Tuesday, Trishala. Tuesday to you too. Thank you very much. April Al, you say good morning from sunny Connecticut. You're enjoying the show with my raspberry iced tea. Yes, that sounds good. Durell, you say you are out for an appointment, so you're a bit late, but you made it with a cup of dark Java in hand. Always happy to join in. So you are out in an appointment, but you still managed to come back, make it within 5 minutes of the show starting, and make yourself a cup of coffee. That's pretty impressive. Gert in the Netherlands, you say good day all. Hi Trishala. Also 4 p.m. in the Netherlands where you are. Tea time. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. We've got an impala and these yellow baboons having a drink. That male looks quite large. Again, it becomes difficult to pick out the alpha male just by looking at a few baboons. You need to be able to see the whole troop to be able to really pick out who the alpha male is, or potentially a few that could be the alpha male. And that's because the alpha male is in a constant state of stress, essentially, because he could be overthrown at any point. So it's very important for him to assert his dominance, which is why you also need to look at behavior. But the thing is, he'll mostly be asserting that dominance for the benefit of the other males that could potentially be alphas in the future. So new blood comes in, immigrant males come in, and they want to vie for the position of alpha male. And so only when you see them in their troop, all together, can you really get an idea of who's who. Obviously, the alpha male tends to be one of the larger males as well, but that comes down to physical competition. Larger males are more likely to win physical competitions, and we know that physical competition does play a part in securing alpha male positions. Rolling Trouble, you say you love the baboons. They are so entertaining and also so interesting to watch. Okay, so you see the one on the right there? His mane is pretty impressive. And now that we have a wider view, you can actually look at more of the baboons at once. His mane looks very impressive. I was thinking about what we were talking about now, alpha males, and how they live in this perpetual state of stress, essentially. And that's because that position of alpha male comes with its benefits. Of course, you're the dominant male. You're the one that's going to get the best food. You're going to get the best opportunities for mating. And you're in charge. It also means you're going to get the best spots for resting. It's the top position. But at the same time, it is an openly competitive band. And that means that any of the males that have the physical capabilities, as well as the social advantages through relationships, friendships, coalitions in the way, anyone can take that position. So they've constantly got to be defending their position as well as asserting their dominance. And it's something that you see in hyena clans as well, in that female, or the matriarch, so the top, I was about to say the top dog, the top hyena, the matriarch, the one who's in charge of the clan, the most dominant individual, she is also living in a perpetual state of stress because her position could also be taken by anybody. Yes, it is nepotistic in that individuals or youngsters inherit their mother's rank, but at the same time, it's openly competitive. So they've always got to assert their dominance constantly, but also have to be able to defend that position. And so a couple tests were done with both baboons and hyenas and showed that in terms of biological stress, they had higher amounts of a reactive oxygen species, which basically means there's like free radicals in their body that is available to strip electrons off other molecules, or strip oxygen off molecules to be most exact. And that can actually age a body more. So, you know, when people say, eat your antioxidants, it's basically the opposite of an ROS, a reactive oxygen species, because those ROSs, they want to steal oxygen and electrons from molecules, and then antioxidants are giving you extra ones. So if you have those free radicals in your body, then it's not stealing from your DNA, for example. Instead, it'll steal from all those lovely blueberries you've been eating. And that's a great indicator of whether an animal is in biological stress, the level of those things. So though it may look so peaceful to watch a hyena clan or a baboon troop, especially when they look like this, they're just feeding, they're moving around, nothing intense or aggressive is going on. Still in their bodies, so much could be going on. I went off on a little bit of a tangent there. Sorry, sometimes I get hooked into something. Speaking of hooks, this one's lost part of its tail and now it looks like a hook. Hi Carolyn Morgan, you'd like to know what do baboons eat? Baboons are omnivores, theoretically, but the majority of their diet is made up of vegetation. So they'll forage for fruit, nice new bits of leaves. So you'll find that they pick things. So they'll pick the ends, like the budding bits of plants. They'll eat flowers. They'll eat seeds, fruits. You'll see them eat grass as well. They'll also eat little insects. I've seen a baboon eat a scrub hare. So they are omnivorous, but the majority of their diet is made up by fruits and seeds, vegetation. This is quite a large male that came in now as well. Tris, first up, you say, hi everyone, you're late, but you did your best job to join. Thank you so much for joining us. Lots of baboon action. Very nice. Anyway, let's maybe head over to Olifants River for a little bit. I'm sure we might even see some more baboons there, really. Aha, there we go. Different type of baboon here. We've got the Chakma baboon. Over at El Doño, we have the yellow baboon. Karu, I'm just reading your question. You'd like to know why do female baboons have lumps in their ears and males don't? And you say at least you don't think you've seen males with lumps as far as you know. I'm trying to think about what it is you're looking at. If we get another opportunity to have a look. Oh, sorry, I misread your question, Karu. Sorry. Here I am thinking, what bump on the ears? You meant, I mean, not you meant, you were perfectly fine. I just misread it. You like to know, why do female baboons have lumps on their rears, not on their ears, and males don't? So you are absolutely right. Males don't have those bumps on their rears. And I hope that we might see a male and a female while we're looking around here at Olifants River, and then we can better answer. So you saw that there was a band, Karu, at the base of the tail of a baboon, that fleshy band. And oh, there we go. We're back at Old Donya now. Hopefully, we'll get a clear view of their behinds. So there's a fleshy band with no fur just under the tail. Both males and females have this band, but females have a vagina, so they need to have a gap in that band where the opening would be. So for males, it's plain and flat. For females, it almost looks like a band that's cut in half, like there's two parts to the band, and right under the tail is the opening to the vagina. But what you're seeing, those lumps or swellings, that's a result of hormones in the female that would indicate that she's going into estrus. So when she's full on in estrus, then the whole area becomes quite swollen and lumpy, and it can almost look painful. But as far as we know, it wouldn't be. It's just a visual cue to allow males to know where they are in their estrus cycle. And because hormones don't just switch on one day or switch off another day, you might get little lumps every here and there that would be indicative of her coming into estrus very soon, because those hormones are already starting to appear in her bloodstream. So there we've got a nice picture of a rear right there. You can see that that's a male. Nice flat band. You can clearly see that there's no opening for a vagina. And not too many lumps or bumps. Yes, mister. And thank you as well to the Zoomy for showing us one who unfortunately lost part of his tail, but gave us a really clear look at the rear, as you said, not the ear, Karu. Sorry. Carolyn Morgan, you are absolutely right. You say you guess baboons are like humans. Very much so, and that they eat, oh, isn't that lovely? They eat a whole variety of things, and on top of that, because they have these dexterous fingers, they're able to be very selective about what they eat, very much like us. Teddy Lad Lulu, ooh, I got tongue-tied there. Teddy Lad Lulu, you say good afternoon from the north of the UK. Good afternoon to you too. Thank you for humoring me, Karu. I see you sent a ha ha ha. Yes, ha ha, indeed. I'm sorry, sometimes, you know, I read the questions quickly and your brain forms, you know, puts things together and then you have to go back and read it. Sorry. Andy, you'd like to know. Okay, you say, when you start the question with, okay, I know this was just a thought and you just want to know because you're unsure. You say, okay, question. Very dramatic. This morning, there was an oryx and elands at El Doño, together, I assume. The elands seem to be afraid of the oryx. Why would that be? I can't think of a reason that would be. Maybe they were just trying to avoid the oryx. I mean, the eland are significantly larger than the oryx. So I can't imagine why they would be afraid. But also remember that animals can react in a way that could look to us like they're afraid of another animal, when in fact it's just them trying to get out of the way or avoid them. And they can react quickly, like, you know, dart to the side or pull back very suddenly to get out of the way of an animal. And you see it with elephants quite a lot when other animals are approached by an elephant, for example. So I wouldn't say that they were afraid, but I know what you're describing, what you mean. I think maybe they are reacting to how the oryx is behaving. Maybe the oryx is moving around a lot or a little erratic, unpredictable in some way. That could cause it. It could also just be nothing to do with the oryx as well. Goodness, I love watching this cam. Anyway, let's head off to Camphor's Dam. Have a look at something special. Oh my goodness. Golden wildebeest. So what we're looking at now, a blue wildebeest. But I think it was the one that just left to the right. Or is it this one that's right in front of us here? This one looks a bit young though. Oh, it is those two. So a golden wildebeest. Oh no, there we go. There we go. Oh, this is so cool. So this is the first time I'm ever seeing one. Apart from, you know, a picture. Two of them, in fact. And all this is, it's the same species as a blue wildebeest. It's just got a mutation that affects its coloration. It's a pretty rare mutation at that too. But it could also be that they are in certain areas bred. If something is genetic, particularly when it comes to pattern and color, it can quite easily be bred, because you know that, for example, with this with the golden wildebeest, it's not just two genes. It's not just yes or no as to whether it's going to be dark and a blue wildebeest or no. It's not just dominant and recessive for one pair of genes. It could be a whole, like it could be many, many genes. And because it is a rare mutation, it's likely that the majority of those genes are recessive, which basically means that both parents need to donate the correct recessive version of the gene to their offspring, or the correct gene to their offspring, because it is already recessive. So that's why it is rare, because ordinarily, for example, for a dominant gene, only one of your parents need to send it to you. You don't need both. So for this to occur, let's say there are 10 different genes associated with being a golden wildebeest and not a blue wildebeest. That would mean that for all those genes, both parents need to have those genes antenated to you. But because it can be controlled in a way, you know it is definitely coming from the parent. It's something as easy as color, then it can be bred. And it's likely that it's bred in this area too. But other than the color, there's no difference. And when we say that there's a difference in their color, what we are really saying is that the blue wildebeest has a lot more melanin than the golden wildebeest. Rolling Trouble, you say you love this, you never see them here. Rolling Trouble, I mean, this is like a myth to me. When Kirsten said Camphor's Dam, golden wildebeest, I went, what? Maybe she was pulling my leg. But it is incredibly rare to see this in the wild. And I mean, we've got 4 here, so it's very likely that they're bred in this area. But other than the color, they're pretty much the same as the blue wildebeest. They could have some difficulty with particularly warm temperatures, or rather UV radiation, just because melanin helps to protect DNA from UV radiation. But again, if they did have massive problems with it, then they would probably die very quickly. But they don't. They survive. Little blonde wildebeest, so cute. I've always thought that a wildebeest tail looks like clip-in extensions, like hair extensions. The hair or the fur on it rather is just so beautiful, so silky. It looks like it's been straightened with a hair straightener, and it's shiny. And with a golden wildebeest, you kind of get a blonde version too. So it's just a mutation in their ability to produce melanins. Both the quantity and maybe even the type. We can produce 3 different types of melanin. One is neuromelanin, which is just involved in neural pathways and is not involved in producing color in terms of skin and skin coverings. And the other is eumelanin and pheomelanin. Pheomelanin produces oranges and reds, but with a browny undertone. So people who have red hair, they have pheomelanins. People like me who have black or dark brown hair, they have eumelanins. And there's also, I'm giving a simplistic overview here. It can be a combination, but one or two of them, one of those melanins will dominate. So here I'm not sure which one is dominating. Karu, you say more than 3 now? Yeah, so at one point I saw 4, now I think we've seen 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6. Yes. Look at them, just carrying on life like they're no different to the gnus around them. So sweet. Ooh, there's another one as well. They blend in really well to this dry grassland environment, which is a very similar color to themselves. What a cool find. Honestly, I didn't even think. In areas where wildebeest are very abundant, like I wonder if during the migration in the Mara, if any wild golden wildebeests are seen. That would be interesting. These are definitely bred there. There's no way that 6 different golden wildebeests came out in the same area, pretty much in the same generation. And it's always nice to get excited about wildebeest because more often than not, they become like impala. You spend a little time with them and then you kind of just tend to drive past. And when we see a genetic abnormality like this, it really draws your attention back to wildebeest. And I like that. They deserve all the attention they can get. And this was an excellent find for us to end off our time together. It was Really interesting to spend time with the yellow baboons up in El Doño, as well as the giraffe, who didn't get a lot of attention from us, but still, we went down to Olifants River, some baboons on that side too, and got the golden wildebeest right in the mixture with the blue gnu's as well. But now it's time to say goodbye. Thank you so much for your questions and your comments. I hope that your smile is bigger after spending time in the African bush with me. Hope that you learned something. And if you had a heavy or a full day, I hope that you relaxed. But for now, ciao.